Hello, it's Paul here. I'm going to give you as fast as I can a beginner's introduction to Monday.com. I'm at the end of May 2020. If you're years ahead of me in the future, there may be a newer video, so check the description of the video. There may be a link to a newer video, but I'm going to give you a 2020 introduction to everything you need to know about Monday.com, the project management side of it, managing workflows, and the best ways to use it for your business. It's basically an introduction. It's not going to be an exact how to do things. What I will do in this video is I will itemize lesson times or different areas as we start, and you'll see a bar going across the bottom of the screen where you can skip to different lessons. You'll be able to see the timestamps inside the description as well. You'll also, if you don't have to take this all in one go, if you come to paulnicholson.com and go to courses, type in Monday, there'll be a full free training course there which will have this video and a lot of Monday's videos, official training videos, and you can ask any questions in there as well. And when you've watched this, you can click on this. There'll be a link in the description, and you can come and get a certification to say that you've gone through the new user training, which is what this video is. At this point, before I dive into it, it's awesome for me year on year to make my videos better. If you pause me and tell me why you're here, write in the comments what you're looking to gain from this video, what you were looking to learn and why you're here. I can reply to you in the comments, and I may have a relevant video, or I'll just give you some better advice. And of course, if this video gives you any real help, then a subscribe would be awesome. Let's get into it. All right, let's firstly talk about pricing. Monday.com isn't free. You obviously can get a 14-day free trial. You usually start with a pro trial, so be careful when you're doing the 14-day trial that you're not starting to use features like Zoom or something. If you're planning to use basic, you can come to the pricing page obviously, but you're going to pay per month and then for the features that you want, right? So it's per user per month. So it goes up in the smallest is 2 users, and then it's £15 a month. If you build annually, if you change year to monthly, it's $17 a month, and obviously it steps up. From this page, you can see the extras you're going to get: timeline view, the calendar view, map view, advanced search. These are all on the standard and pro version. Time tracking, if you want to do stuff like that, chart view, formulas, and things like that. The funkiest stuff obviously goes up in pricing, and the pricing per user comes down the more users you sign up. So you have to jump from 2 to 5. You're going to be paying, if you pay annually, £15 a month for 2 users. When you go to 5 users, that's £22 a month. If you go to 10 users, that's £42 a month. Obviously, this is all billed annually, and so on. So pricing wise, you are not getting Monday.com for free. We're going to get into what you're going to get for what you pay for, right? Right, so let's have a look at our first look and walk round of Monday.com. What's it all about? Where are things? Before I delve into each section separately. So obviously, like kind of any program these days, you can have your feed, you can have your inbox, you can have your notifications when you log in. So if anybody's messaged you, anybody's tagged you to anything, you will be getting notifications as you log in. Here on the inbox, you can see I've been someone's mentioned me on a pulse, and I can reply to it and things like that. I can filter my inbox to things I need to do, and if I just take a quick walk around, then we'll filter into everything before. So this is the home page. You're gonna have your separate favorites. You're gonna be able to mark things as favorites. So there's the whole organization, projects, boards, whatever you want to call them, and then you can mark certain things as your favorites. So things that you need all the time, obviously as favorites. So if you're the installation manager, easier for me because I work with a lot of security companies to explain how you would use Monday.com if you're a security company, but your business will understand the relevant areas, right? So if I'm the installation manager, I'm gonna favorite installations and the installation projects. It's in map view at the minute. I go to table, installation projects that I've got going on. Down here is all the boards. So all the boards across across the organization. So again, if I'm the security installation manager, I've got to do billing, and I'm going to be able to access the billing board, as well as accounts will be allowed to access it, and maybe sales to see what the status of their boards are. So what we have is a series of boards, and then inside each board is a series of what Monday calls pulses. So these are effectively tasks that need to be completed on these different boards, right? So I've separated them into different folders, and obviously different people can be allowed into different folders, into different boards. They can be allowed to see different groups and, well, boards basically. So if it's any project, you need to filter down to a department or a group of people. That can be all set by permissions, right? So we have all these different areas. You can have your own private to-do list where nobody else can see, and you can set it up however you want to do. What do I need to do today? Now this is separate to on the projects. This is you just making minor notes. Whereas you see at the bottom, my week. In fact, that's a board. I think that's probably I'm going to delete that because that will confuse you. Let me delete the board. Okay. So let's just get rid of the my week. To-do list is you setting up your own board. You don't have to have this, because what you'll find here is my week. So anything that's happening in the other boards, if you're tagged to something, if you're tagged to a project that needs to be done this week and it's been put as you, then in your week you will get information as to what you need to do, right? So that's why I needed to remove that my week board. It would confuse you. So you got my week down here. If you're admin and you got the rights, you can invite new members of your team. We can search everything. In here, whatever we're looking for. You know, if we're looking for that install ball, or that installation project. So this is a board. Ian Installs is another member of the team. You can search through and find everything you need. Down here in the help, any help videos, any help you need from the Monday team, you can get to. Obviously your profile, everything in your profile that you need to view, change. You might want to edit stuff. You can change your work status so that, you know, if you're working from home, you get this little logo on your name. If you're out sick, people won't bother you. If you go into focus mode, here we go. Indicates to others you are in focus mode. Notifications in inbox will be silenced. So you can turn things off so you're not getting notified all the time. I'm concentrating on one of my project things that I need to get done. So instead of it pinging you all the time, you can go into focus mode. But if you're in the office and want people to message you, stick it in office and everything else. Obviously you can change your passwords and all this sort of things that you would expect from the back end of admin. Each board itself, as we'll go into each board individually, but up in the top you'll be able to see all the different settings. You'll be able to see activity. You'll be able to see different streams, things that are going on, things you've been tagged in, any updates to boards, all that sort of stuff. So basically what you're looking at straight away is separate boards for separate projects, and inside those are the pulses, and we're going to get into that, right? So it's easy to navigate, and there's plenty of ways to jump around. There's plenty of things that, you know, obviously if I might want to make to-do list my favorites, so I would tag it as add to favorites, and then all of a sudden the to-do list is now up in my favorites, right? So there's different ways for you to set up your area. Oh, down the bottom here is dashboards, where you can set up a dashboard to see where you're at, whatever things you need to look at is at. Setting up your quick click area to find exactly what you're looking for, right? Right, so we got obviously boards and pulses within boards and tasks to do. So we're going to create a new board. So I want to show you an example of exactly what we can do and the things we can do within it, and there's a big scope in that, but I just want to give you a usage idea of how you can manage a project. So obviously a board is any project you're doing, any project your team's doing, and then it might be a board with a list of projects. So it's obviously just ticking off a to-do list on all these things that you've all got to do and you've all got to collaborate on. So there's all sorts of different things that may be to you. So in my example, I'm working for a security company. what I'm going to do is, in this installation folder, I'm going to do a board that is installing a fire alarm at a police station, right? Just an example. So what I'm going to do is I can go up here and click add board, but I want to add it to this folder. So I'm going to add a board, create a boarding folder, and then you've got all these different templates, all these different usage things that they can already build out, right? But I'm going to go down to project management. I'm going to pick this one, construction schedule, and you can look through and see everything, but it's going to populate quite a lot of things for me already, right? So I'm going to click use, put here fire alarm. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put police station fire alarm, right? Now, what the difference here is main is sharing it with your team, sharing it with all your organization. Private is just for you. Here we go. It's actually showing into it. Visible to everyone in your account. For working privately, alone, or with selected team members. So on private, if it's a more secretive thing, it might be pay rises, something like that. You're only inviting the accountant and the boss in. You can do private boards, or, and this is what I'm going to use for this case, for working privately with guests outside your account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite third-party contractors in, and I'm going to invite the chief inspector at the police station in, right, to see where the status of the fire alarm is. So on this one, I'm going to do a shareable board, police fire alarm, and create, right? It's going to populate with those tasks. And then I can go through and edit and give people, assign people tasks, right? So there's different ways of viewing the board. You can do it in this tabled view, which is easier for a lot of people. Depends how you want to schedule this. You maybe a high priority at the top and then move it into lower down. Then what can happen is you can move these pulsers about, these tasks, and drop them around. Or you can do the Kanban style, which is getting very popular. Kanban, which is, tasks to do, and you can move them across and things like that. And there's plenty of other views you want, right? But we're going to do with the basics, the beginner, the thing that definitely works in the smaller versions of the program. Each column can be edited to whatever you want to type it as, anything you want to say, you can add columns here. We'll go through this in a little bit. If it's numbers, if it's a project you're working on, you might want to put in costs here, change it to a number, cost, and then you can add all these up in a column. Obviously, there's date fields, there's statuses for different statuses, depending on if it's getting equipment in or if it's the status of the job. So you see here is done, working on it, done, stuck, things like that. You're going to see up here the board activity. You can see board subscribers. Everything you need to know on the board, and then we're going to go into individual setting up of the board next. But that is as easy as it is to create a board, right? You just add it to the file, create the board, pick your selected template, and then we're going to edit the pulses next, right? Right, so let's talk about the pulses, the individual pulses where the information is. We can do what we want with these. We can remove them, edit the ones that are populated. Obviously, it's given us a certain amount of setup information already. We could just delete these if you wanted to. If you didn't want to use task one, just straight out delete it. You just wanted to do that, or you want to edit these. So what we're going to say, what I would do would be, this group would be installation. This might be commission. I must have spelled that wrong. And maybe handover, right? So within these separate tasks, I'm going to put in fact, you might have a whole new group, right? Of here, new item group, new group of items, and put here equipment. Add in a new group, and then put in order equipment. you might be even, the accountant might even jump in and say deposit required. Right, that might be the first thing. You order equipment, equipment here, and then down here it would be maybe it would be deliver equipment to site. Right. Oh, close this. Then here, down here on task 2, I click the because I clicked the label, not the install wiring. Wiring. Install. You get the point, right? You're gonna put in your list of things that you need to do to get your whole project done. Install panels, commission, then down here, test system, fire certificate. Right, the 3 different stages of the install. Oh, what did I do there? Test system. I didn't actually plan out the project I was going to do. Then handover might be train police staff. Right. Oh, that's because I clicked that earlier as well, isn't it? Complete. Complete billing paperwork, right? So now I've got a whole stage of the importance going through of my job. So I need to complete all the top parts up here first. Right, I've just added some more people to my organisation. I'll tell you how to do that later. It's really easy to invite people in, just so we can start adding people. All I'm going to do is go up here and make everybody visible in my organisation. Right, so now if I refresh it, when I go now, I can go through and apply with this person's column. So you can rename it whatever, manager, whatever it might be, owner, task owner, whatever you want it to be, right? I can click here now and pick who is in charge of this task, right? So say I had an inventory manager. I'm going to call her Sarah Sales. I'm going to say Sarah Sales is the inventory manager. I haven't got anybody set up, right? So when I click here, I can go order equipment and say Sarah Sales is in charge of ordering equipment. I can click Sarah Sales is the manager. Deposit required. I would pick here the accountant or whoever's in charge of making sure the deposit's in, right? Ian installs in this case. Again, equipment here will be Sarah, and deliver equipment to site might be the install manager, right? So I've assigned all those 4 tasks. What you're going to start doing is my email is going to go mental because all these emails will come to me because it's a catch-all, right? So imagine you're an individual. This is Ian's email. Ian's just got Paul Nicholson assigned you a manager of deliver equipment to site. This one is Sarah's got an email. Paul Nicholson assigned you a manager of get the equipment here, right? So your emails, and you can change your settings on your emails, right? So if I log in as Sarah on another browser, we can show you how that has happened and how it's been added to her task list, right? So Sarah's going to log in. Oh man. Oh, what am I doing? It's not Sarah at Monday.com, is it? Sarah at PaulNicholson.com. I love these live demos. Right, hopefully that's going to get us in, right? So Sarah is effectively sales manager and she's in charge of inventory in this example. So you're going to get your notifications saying the things that you've been assigned, and you can jump into that board, right? Now, Sarah can go off and say order equipment. So she's going to set her dates and say, right, I'm going to order it between June the 1st and the 4th. Equipment here, I expect you'd set these up better, of course. It's going to be here. What I say, June the 4th. I'm gonna expect it all here a week later, right? So there's a timeline on there. Ian, imagine if Ian were here and he was in charge of the accounts. He's gonna chase up the accounts on June the 1st. Can you just do it on a day? Yeah, double click on it, and then it expects to deliver the equipment to the site on June the 30th, right? So the timeline starting to jump in. Ian, as the install manager, would be assigned install wiring. I've just signed up a technician. That's not showing at the minute. Maybe I've done it wrong. So we know that on June the 30th, the equipment's going to be there, and Ian's going to say that he's going to take his. I don't know why it's gone to that date. So there's a timeline option, so you can see things panning out. What's this called, a Gantt chart? I'm not into project management. Is it a Gantt chart when you start seeing lines that you want to move around and things like that? That's on the timeline option up here. I'm a bit scatty because I don't use Monday.com. I work for myself. I don't have other people to deal with, right? But if we get rid of this date and put in, what do we say? June the 30th. So June the 30th, the equipment, so the install manager is going to say install the wiring between, July the 1st and the 8th. So you've got a week to do the wiring. You've got July the 9th to the 11th to fit the equipment, and then install the panel on Monday the 6th. Double click for one day. We're going to test the equipment on, it's because it's automated, isn't it? It's automated 2 years ago. What we're saying, July the 6th. So we're going to test the system July the 7th to the 9th. We're going to, I think you get the point, right? 10th, we're going to get the certificate off the fire department. And then July the 11th, we're going to hand it over to the police chief, right? So what happens now is I'm Sarah Sales. I've ordered the equipment. Status, done, right? So when you click on status, you can edit this. So whatever the work in progress or whatever the colours you want to be, you can add or remove labels. So the minute Sarah starts looking into it, she changes this to working on it, right? Ian comes in, he's organised the deposit and it's sorted. You may not have this double section, and you might not have the site validation. You don't necessarily need a progress bar, but this is obviously the progress bars looking at this status and this status for further down, right? You may not need this second status because it's really it really doesn't account for much. And what we're going to do here, site validation later, is, well, I'm not going to show you in this, but maybe we would invite a customer or the test certificate guy or somebody third party that needs to validate the work, and they would come in and they could sign it off. So that was why there's that second status there. But we're going to get rid of it for this example because it's just going to confuse you a little bit more. So we're now starting to see our project clearing up, right? So now Sarah completes the equipment's been ordered, and now this might be waiting for equipment, deliver a site, working on it, change it to on hold or something like that. Let's just zero these out. So we'll go through. We would, Sarah might say, here, deliver equipment to site. Sarah might type in here at Ian installs equipment on the way. And then maybe even tag managing director, all equipment ordered. No problem. Oh my God. I can hear somebody coming through the door any second when you do a YouTube video. So now you can see there's a comment there, right? So you can see each task has got its own area. You might want to put here You might want to add a note, order number, stroke ref, you know, whatever it might be, and add files. You might want to add the packing document or whatever it might be. If you've got some questions, add a Q&A, which doc is best, which doc do you want it to land on? All right, add a question. So you can see each separate tab, each separate pulse has its own little timeline, has its own little life span. You can move them up and down. If this becomes more important than this one, you can change the times. You can add columns, you know, tags, numbers, people. There's a people column. Your different statuses, different things that you need. The timeline obviously is the date. If it's just one day, a timeline obviously is the set date. So if we go now here to timeline, we can see, here we go, is the deposit's been required. Here comes the equipment. Here's when we're expecting the equipment, into different colors in the different grouping to sign off, right? So it's cool. It's really easy to navigate around and understand what needs to be done. It's easy to say, here it is, equipment's here. Delivered equipment to site, and then we're on to installing it, right? So if I go over to this is Paul Nicholson now, I can see as the managing director, I think that's what it was tagged as, mentioned you in a status. So this is where this was, I was testing that earlier actually. Install equipment on the way. This is the, you know, great stuff at Sarah. Over to you at Ian. Let me know if you need me, right? Reply. If I go back here, Sarah's got a notification. Paul Nicholson wrote a reply. My plans are in my office at Ian. You can actually, there's gifts and stuff now in it. You can add a gift here. What's that say? Your mobile product. I would hate working in an office where people kept sending me gifts. But so I think you can see the project. You can see what a board does. You can see how it's built and how the timeline. You can see that there's all different options of things that you can put on there, and there's an easy way of tagging other people, right? Right. So let me invite the customer. Let me invite the police inspector, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to log out because I'll show you how easy it is for a third party guest. And the guests don't go against your pricing. It's only your own users, right? I don't think it says it there. 1 week. I don't think it says it there, but I don't think the guests go against. You can have unlimited guests, right? He says. But anyway, so Sarah is going to invite in the police inspector to say, this is how your project is going, right? So we've ordered the equipment. I mean, you might not want the customer to see it, but it might be if you're a freelancer, you want to talk to the customer and you know, you're on a website or something, you need interaction. We're going to invite the customer, right? Up here, look. Who is it on this board? Only owners can invite guests. So what I should have done was, I'm going to log out and log in as me, right? So the owner of the board can invite guests. I hope my password is the same as Sarah's. Come on. It's actually different, but I remembered which way around it was, right? So you can obviously enable desktop notifications if you want them to pop up and things like that. But what we're going to do is we're going to go back to that board, police fire alarm. You can see it's a shareable board. We're going to go up here and click here. Subscribe people outside of your team, clients, freelancers, and there's a learn more. So I'm going to go police at, I'll put yeah, police inspector. This is gonna be the police inspector, right? All emails come to my inbox, whatever I type in front of paulnicholson.com, right? So I'm going to invite the police inspector to the guest into the board, right? police@paulnicholson.com and invite. I can invite, if I wanted to invite an electrician, I'm not going to do it because it'll confuse you. I can invite an electrician or third-party freelancers, whatever it might be, right? So when I go to my email here, so this one's come, Paul Pitt, right? Paul Nicholson invited you to collaborate on police fire alarm in Monday.com. So I've invited the police officer, right? Your account is here. This is my custom domain on Monday. And the police officer, now the police officer, the police inspector is going to click, right? So he puts in his name, adds his password, agrees to terms. We can read them if he wants. The police inspector probably would. And the third-party guest now can go through, see the information on what to do, click through and be told how to get on, get a video. But here's the board, right? So now I can view and see, and you can change settings to not allow them to edit things. Over here, you can see July the 11th, trained staff. You might be able to put, hey, at whoever, Sarah. Might be able to technician. You can tag the technician who's on the job. I'm out until noon that day, then free for the afternoon, right? Whatever, you can see what he's tagged to, right? Update. Police inspector's left a comment. If I go back here as Sarah's got a notification. Ian installed. Oh, I've got an inbox message as well. Those gifts coming off. I always get a little bit confusing when I'm doing this myself, right? You can filter it down to what you want to see, just certain boards. Also replied. Where's the message? But she can go here. It will pop up eventually. I'm not sure why it hasn't popped up when he's tagged her. Oh, it's because I'm logged in as Paul Nicholson, not Sarah. This is why it gets confusing. Sorry about this. So anyway, as Paul Nicholson, I can tag whoever's going to show this instruction. I might say, I'll put down to see you too. Reply. Back to the police, the police inspector. He's got a notification. Paul Nicholson wrote a reply. I might pop down too, right? I think you're getting the gist. You will get an email of that information, and you can edit your email settings in your notification preferences, because you can imagine it would go mental if you're getting too many. So you can go here and just turn them all off if you want. Disable desktop notifications if you don't want them. If you don't want replies, you don't want your emails. This is what I'm going to have to do eventually. Go through. So I think you get the point. You can create a board, create lots of tasks, create timelines and everything. Invite a third-party guest. Make it easy to use, right? Right, just to add a little bit more confusion, I've logged in with the mobile app, right? So Sarah on the app is on my phone. You can see the notifications, the same. New notifications, yes, we know. And you can see that information now. Is the update. Hey Sarah from the police inspector. Give it a thumbs up. Give it a reply. I'm logged in here as Paul Nicholson. So Paul Nicholson put. I'll pop down. So Sarah on her phone can tap at Paul Nicholson. I'll pick you up on the way. Send it off. You'll be able to see the notification will come up if I'm logged in the correct place. Let me just refresh this just in case I logged out. Terra Sales. It's in the inbox. Here we go. I'll pick you up on the way. On the mobile app, I can see the boards. I can see, Sarah can see her favorites, which she would probably make sales lead management here. The recent one she's opened as a favorite, so that when she wanted to go through her sales and her clients, she would set up her leads to see who she needed to go to, any information she needed on them, anything she wanted to change, call again, negotiate, set it up as you want. So it's all about the boards, all the information in the menus that you want, so you can take it on the go. I'm flying through it now, aren't I? You can do everything you can do on the browser, on the app. Big search, search for police. It's going to go through the database and have a look. Train police staff. Is Sarah tagged to that? Any updates from the police inspector? A device to contact. Click reply. I think you can see that I'm jumping around. I don't use the app, so I can't really show you exactly how to use the app. But you can see that any information that's been relevant, that's happened, you can take it on the fly in the app with you. A few changes made. You can quickly see that things have changed. You can browse through and see things that are edited within that project. And anything else you've got to do, really. You see there'll be my week here. So anything that's tagged for my week, about next week, order equipment, week after. It was like a week long, that one, wasn't it? June the 4th. I don't know why that keeps showing up. But yeah, you can take it on the fly. You can do what you need to do with it. I don't really use it, so I'm definitely not an app expert. I hardly ever use my phone. But I thought that was just a quick way of showing you that there's a way that people that don't need to be in the office to join your Monday.com, right? So I hope I've given you a good-ish introduction to Monday.com. I know it's a bit scatty. I don't use it. Obviously, I haven't got a team. I don't do projects or anything like that. I really like it. It's really simple. Once you get to grips with it, it's all about boards. It's all about setting permissions, allowing people to do certain things, tagging people, making the communication within the comments easier I think I'm already in, Sarah, aren't I? Interact with each other to make the collaboration of getting a project completed, then closing a board at the end of it, moving it off. If it's a set board, you can duplicate it. You've got another fire alarm project, change the structure. We might just want the structure only, right? Keep board subscribers, duplicate it, and that'll set that next project up, won't it? As far as what needs to be done. Lots of cool things to do, but lots of cool things to learn as well. So if you've got any questions, let me know. I will try and help out. As I say, I'm not a Monday.com expert, but I've always liked the look of it, the feel of it, being able to see exactly where a project's at, what needs to be done, and having that real custom factor of making it work however you need it to work. Really easy. Come to paulnicholson.com. Check out the Monday.com training. It will be a lot more structured and easier for you to follow and ask questions, and I can create a video directly for you. I hope this helped. Was any questions? Fire away in the comments. If you've got any value out of it and you enjoyed it and you're still here, a subscribe would be amazing. See you all soon. Cheers.